Guys, so my hair is a total mess because I was not planning on recording a video, but I thought I would just do a super quick update video because I haven't been able to wrap up with the kitchen or bedroom videos yet because they're not done yet, so it's not time to do the video, but I'm trying to get final details for both of those completed so I can do the final reveal video, which is like the last segment that I need to record for both of those. But until then, we have another basement video, which I kind of showed off cleaning up the basement and trying to properly get it set up. And so I want to show that and also show some stuff that has been happening down here. So since the cleanup video, I have finished with my setup. So I ended up putting the sawhorses here in front of the rack because you access the wood from the sides. So this front piece can kind of like block off with the sawhorses. It makes way better use of the space so I can actually get on either side and I can easily move these farther apart or pull them out into the middle of the room. It just makes way more sense. And then I've got this space here completely open. If I need to bring wood in, I can easily get it in here and I don't have anything in my way. And then the larger ones I sat up over here with the boards. So these kind of double as both a tabletop and a cutting area. And like I can easily stand between here to use the tabletop area, but still have room here on the end to use as sawhorses if I need to cut something. So that functions really well. And as you can see, I was doing some sanding and stuff down here. I was building a little riser for my sister that is still a work in progress because I built it out of old wood that was warped. So once I had it all together, it was super wobbly. So I'm trying to get that leveled out before I get it cleaned up. But I also put this here, which is for my larger like flat pieces of wood. And this is a great space for this because it's otherwise like not super usable because of the rack being here. So that works really well. And then I just have, this is part of the shelf actually that has this on it. This shelf has more shelves and that's what these are. But obviously it would be too tall if I put the other shelves on. So these are the other shelves from that. And that just keeps the wood up off the ground in case there was ever water down here. The boards aren't resting directly on the ground. I have, however, luckily not had issues with water in my basement because my house is on a slight incline, so the water runs away from the house. So that's not actually a serious issue that I have. But it's just something that I am aware of because getting water in your basement is something that can happen if you have bad enough storms. But also, like if a pipe were to burst or something like that, I did have my water heater broke last year. The water was all contained within that room, but things like that also obviously can lead to you getting water in the basement. But anyway, this is the setup that I have created. I think this functions super well. I've used the space a little bit since, and I think this layout is really good and makes the best use of the space. But the main, both of the cats are down here, they want to know what I'm doing. The main thing that I wanted to show is that the removal is underway. So I found evidence of another mouse in my kitchen. I had just like 2 or 3 droppings underneath of the kitchen sink, but very clear evidence that a mouse had been in there sniffing around, probably trying to find food. So a couple days after that, I came down And these are the boards that are directly underneath of my kitchen sink. So I came down here and ripped these boards down so that I could see if there was any evidence of droppings or nesting directly underneath the sink. Luckily, did not find anything, so that's good. I did see they have like insulation right here, which so far is the only place that I've seen insulation, so I don't know why that's there, because the pipes are over here, so they didn't insulate for the pipes. So I'm not sure why the insulation is there. But yes, so I pulled those couple down and then quickly moved over here and I started pulling this section down because this is the section that is where the outlet is in my living room that I want to move. So I wanted to get this down so that I can move that outlet. So yeah, I started pulling this section down. This is my internet cable here, which when I had it installed, because of all the paneling, it couldn't be like tucked up into the ceiling. So I would love, once I have this pulled down, to actually have this tucked up into the rafters and potentially install like an actual wall plate. Right now the cord just comes up out of the floor. I would love to have an actual like wall plate and install it in a nicer way. I think would be great if I'm doing this already, but yes. I pulled down this little section. I already found 3 separate wires that were completely detached, not connected to anything. Like both ends of the wires had been snipped, weren't connected to anything anymore, that were just laying up there in the rafters. 3 of them, just in this little section that I pulled out, which is a big thing that I've talked about, wanting to get all this paneling removed on the ceiling so that electrical can be updated, new electrical can be run, and all of that stuff. So that was a perfect example of why I want to have this done. This is the duct that runs to the living room. That's what that is. You can see there's like this outer coating on it that's chipping away. I'm sure that's great and exactly how that's supposed to look. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It definitely is not supposed to look like that. The rest of the ducting does not look like that, but that part of the ducting was hidden inside of the little makeshift wall. So yeah, this is how we're looking. Look at how nice this subfloor looks. It's actually in really good condition. That's pretty much it. Just a quick little update. I do want to show you when I pulled this little section down, I did expose the spot where the plug is in the living room. So that's the inside of the wall and all the plaster coming through. Very cool. And I don't think you can see it because it's without a light, it's too dark, but there is the wire, and then up there, probably 2 or 3 feet up there, is where the outlet is in the living room that I'd like to move. So yeah, that's where that is. And I just thought that was really cool that you can see there between the walls and see the plaster work from the other side. Very cool. So yeah, that's all I've gotten done so far. Luckily, the paneling on the ceiling has been much easier to get off than the section on the wall was. The wall, the like supports are pretty close together. I think they're about 1 foot apart, and they're running vertically, so it's a little bit harder to pry off. Whereas on the ceiling, the supports run this way. So once I get to it from the ends, I can just follow the support and rip the nails out, so it's a lot easier. I would have gotten like this whole section down very easily, but I stopped because of the light. I got to get the light cover taken off, which probably isn't very hard, but I just didn't feel like it was super hot the day that I was doing this, which is why I didn't do very much of it. But yeah, this is going to be much easier to get down, I think, than the walls are. But I do think I want to take all of the paneling down because even though I'm not as worried about the walls, I would like to expose the foundation walls so that I can see the walls and know if there's any problems with the foundation. Because right now, like I said, everything's covered. So any problems that could be happening down here, I'm currently blissfully unaware of because everything's covered up. So I think I would rather just have everything taken down for peace of mind so I can actually see everything. And then if a problem does arise, it's going to be much easier to address because it's not going to be covered up. So yeah, I think it's just going to be better off to pull everything down. This basement is really not conducive to like being finished off. I mean, the floors, you can't really tell on video. They do have like vinyl flooring down, but these floors are not leveled out. It's just poured concrete floors. So they're super bumpy and uneven. So the fact that they put tiling on top of them is so ridiculous. But yeah, this basement is just not conducive to being a finished off area, especially with this ducting that runs across the room. The ceilings at the highest point, so this is the highest point here, the ceilings are only 6 feet. Where this ducting runs, the ceiling height drops down to about 5'5". So most people, when they come down here, they're ducking underneath of this to walk through the basement. So like this is just not set up to be a finished space. For me, I'm only 5 foot, so the fact that the ceilings are super low is not an issue for me. But for most people, like this is not going to be a space that can be usable as a living space, and it's really not meant to be used as a living space. It's just meant to be a basement where all your utilities are. So as a workshop though, it's a perfect space for that. So that's the plan, kind of take everything back to the bare bones, and then I can see what problems I might have, what things need to be replaced. Like I said, I know that some of the electrical ideally needs to be replaced because it's just very old. So yeah, I think you can see there's pieces that I tore down. So that's the plan. Just a very small section so far, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Like I said, the subfloor looks like it is in fantastic condition, so good sign. But subfloor was not what I was worried about. I'm worried about the electrical that I'm gonna uncover. So yeah, that's all for now. Thanks, and try and get those other rooms finished off so I can get those videos out. But for now, bye guys.